You are listening to Musician Today, weekly podcast with Vera Blumenko. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Musician Today podcast, where we try to bring you the most amazing artists across the world, especially people that I personally like a lot of what they do. So today we have an amazing electric, super awesome violinist, Alyson Montez, who started her violin career at the age of 6. Hello! She's from Houston, inspired by classical music featured in cartoons and fiddle players like Alison Krauss. She grew up studying classical music while building her own style of metal violin playing by recording experimental songs on her computer at home. Her journey eventually took her to Seattle in Los Angeles. Then she joined the Mariachi Divas and recorded on their first Grammy award-winning album, Canciones de Amor. Since then, she has performed in various mariachi groups, as well as rock bands, cover bands, a burlesque act, and many, many studio tracks and albums. She's currently a full-time musician and enjoys specializing in the metal and mariachi genres. You could always find Alison, her awesome music, and all the collaborations she's done on her website at AlysonMontez.com, on Instagram at Instagram.com/Alyson Montez, and YouTube. Don't forget to look up her videos by Alyson Montez, violinist, on Facebook at /Alyson Montez V. Yeah, Alyson Montez V as a violinist. Here we go. And today we have a special treat because we're going to listen to some of the super awesome metal tracks that Alison has been working with. So hello, Alison, and welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so happy to meet you on Skype. You're like the happiest, like most exuberant person. I love watching you perform.
Aww,
like I was watching a bunch of your teen spirit mixed by like arrangement is just killer.
Aww.
I love it. You're welcome.
All right. I love watching you too. And I love it when you show your dogs in videos.
Oh, thanks.
And your comments are so funny too. So it's like, I watch your stories like, to put me in good mood.
Aww.
So by the way, some of the photos that I'm going to feature in today's episode were done by Reuben Martinez. You can find him on Instagram at r/Martinez/ underscore photography. Yes. Just so we know it's out there. Excellent. So I think the first question would be, how did you come up with this unique style that you are currently working in? How did you sort of move away from the classical education that you've had and decided that, okay, this is what I want to do?
Oh, well, I always really liked metal and rock music, but for a long time, I didn't realize that violin would ever have a place in it. And I think you interviewed my friend Mark Wood a while back. I actually met him when I was 16, and he showed me that I could do like a bunch of other cool stuff. And ever since then, I became obsessed. So I got a couple Vipers, and I got like a little recording set up, and I started experimenting. And then I think it was 2007 or 2008, I moved to LA, and I just accidentally joined the Mariachi Divas. That was just like, I was at NAMM and they saw me and they said, come play with us, we'll teach you. And I loved it so much. And there's so much, even though it's folk music, there's so much metal in it, like the way that the harmonia like plays and all that. So I decided those would be so cool to mix together. So I just started experimenting with it, and now I'm making a living off of stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
That's amazing. I totally agree. There's so much metal undertone in just about every music you hear, cinematic music, folk music. I'm myself a gypsy band musician, right? So I've played in a gypsy band for about 10 years. Thank you. So to me, it's like the kind of music I grew up with, but it is so funny how metal just fits so well with it. I love that. I like that extra push that your music gives it. And it's fantastic. I guess we should just listen to one, right? So why don't we have a listen to Desire? And I heard it was just fresh out of the studio.
Yes, this one, it's a cover that my friend was working on. I put all the strings over it, and then at the end, there's a violin solo. So
awesome.
Yes.
Here we go, guys. Desire. Wow, that was amazing. I love that rocking solo at the end. It was like, yeah, that was so cool. I love it. So my question would be next, as in, how did you find that switching over to electric violin has changed the way you play? And was it difficult, like transferring the skills you've learned initially onto an electric instrument? I know there are nuances, and I know mark wood instruments are amazing. So what can you tell us?
Well, I feel like when I originally switched over to electric, it was a little weird, like hearing the sound coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But other than that, the only real difference is just the way you play, because it's amplified so much more. So you have to be a little more careful in certain ways so you don't make any screech sounds or anything, because every little thing will ring out so much, especially with like a
Having a bit of a delay. Hello? No, yes, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Oh,
we had a little freeze. That's okay. No worries.
Yeah.
We can just continue. That's fine. This is live stream, guys.
We're so far apart.
I know.
You're all the way on the other side.
All right. So yes, you were saying the way you play it is because everything is so sensitive and it shows in your music.
Yeah. And that, it's like, and then when you play live with an electric instrument, like if you have pedals and stuff, sometimes even between sound check and the show, something will change. And then you go to hit them and there's all this feedback, and there's so much more to deal with in that aspect. It's like, I'll go to play a solo, and one time some guy turned up my boost pedal all the way like a fan, and so I'm playing and I'm trying to run over and fix it with my foot, and I can't stop playing. Like, so there's so many more components to it, but I feel like it really gets you on your game for all the classical stuff or the folk music or anything else acoustic, because after that it's like, oh, I only have to worry about the instrument. Like, I can really focus on playing like 100%, and so it all works out. I think all the skills help each other.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So yes, and I agree that about 90% of your sound is probably dependent on the setup, equipment, and a person who's really good at making that sound, right? Helping you with it. So I totally agree. I have somebody who does that for me, and I'm just so grateful to have them. Amazing. So how would you say you approach a project in the studio? Like if you're creating an original, so like say you and your producer are working on something, do you just like have an idea and you want to develop it? Do you come and say like, oh, I have this cool melody, I want to turn into a song? So like, how does that usually work?
Yeah, that's definitely a way that I do it a lot. Like, I'll have some ideas. Like, sometimes I'll just piece together a song and I'll have like 3 different little sections, and I'm like, I think all these would fit together. Let's build something around it. Or I'll just have a concept, like, okay, let's make a song that's about like evil deep sea fish taking over the world, and then we'll turn that into something just by like a weird concept like that. Or banana, like, let's make a song about dancing around bananas. Like, just something really like in my mind that gives me a really good visual, and then we see where it takes us.
Amazing. Well, let's have another listen to Head Under Heels.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can talk about how this one was born.
Well, this one is actually a track from my friend Disasterina, who is a fabulous drag queen, who was on the show The Boulet Brothers Dragula. So I was like a huge fan of hers. And then she released the single, and they asked me to be on it. I was so honored, so excited. And so it's kind of a dance track. There's obviously there's a little bit of an orchestra in it. This one also has a violin solo. Seems to be the structure of the year for me. Orchestra, violin solo. So
nice. I watched the video for it. It was so fun. You guys should check it out. It's on YouTube. Head Under Heels, and it's on the channel. Is it on your channel? Yes.
It's on Disasterina's.
Excellent. All right. Here we go, guys. Here's Head Under Heels.
You are all in a lot of trouble right now. You go and you make mama angry. Your head, my heels. Your head under and my necklace. I'll have you for breakfast. Do you think I'm reckless? I'm keeping it real. Your body a steal. It gives me all the feel with your head on the heel. Your head, my heels. Your head on the heels. How delicious it feels. What does your face work? Well, don't be absurd. I stumble over your vanity. To your pretty face, I'll not take your panties. Your head, my heels. Your head on the heels. How delicious it feels. I'm a real town. And I'm not gonna stop. Oh, relentless pain you take when you suffer like rock. Fucker.
Oh wow, that was so fun to listen to. I remember when I heard it first time. I was actually listening to it like at midnight. I was like, that is such a pick me up. Now I don't want to sleep.
All of Disasterina's songs are just hilarious. She's so sweet. Her songs are so funny. And by the way, I'd like to mention, I should have said this before, the producer for the last two tracks, Art Burdick, he's hilarious too. He's obsessed with clowns. He's a very awesome weirdo to be friends with. So just wanted to give him a little plug there.
That's amazing. I love it. I love the production of this. So when you do like a collaboration like this, like do you guys sort of meet and discuss ideas too, or do you already had a song ready and they just wanted to add violin to it?
I believe Disasterina came in for a session with Art and just kind of improvised a bunch of lines, like the worms have asses thing and all that. I think they were just figuring, I think some of it was written and some of it might have been kind of improvised there while they were figuring out. And she's such a genius with words. And so they put the song together and then I came in and did all the strings for that afterwards.
Nice, nice. Sounds amazing. So happy with how it came out.
Yeah, me too. It was, and the video too was so fun. So it was a great time.
Amazing. So you do live performances a lot. So what was your most memorable so far that you can sort of talk about, and why is it the most memorable?
Well, I think one of the most memorable was probably last year. I played at the Heavy Montreal Metal Festival, and that was my first big metal festival, and that was really freaking cool, like having like all those people making a mosh pit and all that. And then afterwards we got to go backstage for the Anthrax and Slayer And it was really special, especially Slayer, because they make me happy. It's my happy place. And it was just such a good time. They treated us so well there. Montreal's beautiful. Canada's beautiful in general. So it was a really lovely experience.
That's amazing. Wow. Sounds good. Amazing. Right. So speaking of deep sea animals, we actually have a song here that's called Robot Octopi. And so this was produced by the same person?
This was produced by my ex-boyfriend a while ago. It was my first, I guess, full metal single. So it was a while ago, and it was mostly violins, and then there's some guitar, and there's some bass in there, and the drums. And so we produced it together at home.
Amazing. Great. So why don't we have a look at it next?
Okay.
Yes? Okay, here we go. So a little blast from the past. Robot Octopi. Wow, your solos are crazy. So do you have any advice on like how you put it together? Do you just like sort of jam out when you're on the spot, or do you like sort of think through them, write some sheet music for yourself? Like, what's your process on a solo? It seems to flow so naturally.
Well, that one I actually wrote out the most of the solos. The way I do it a lot now is I just play through a bunch of times and then I record it. And even if it's horrible, then I know like kind of the concept, and then I just keep doing it until I get it right. But I used to be more visual with how I did everything. It's kind of evolved over the years.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it depends on the project that you're working with, right?
Yeah, I'm better at hearing stuff now. Even when I arrange for work, I like to record it and then record the other parts and then transcribe to paper now.
Amazing. Sounds so natural. I love it. Excellent. All right. So now what we have in this part of our show, I think, is to move things along. I like to play a little game with my guests. So if you're up for it, I'm gonna have sort of like a rapid fire series of questions for you. There'll be 10 of them, and there's under a minute. We have to answer all 10. So try to sort of just answer the first thing that comes to your mind. Would you be up for it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I feel like in this process we actually learn a lot, because often we tend to overthink what we want to say, and this will sort of give you like sort of an opportunity to just say the first thing, right?
Okay.
Okay, excellent. So let me have our countdown here. So there will be countdown. You won't hear it, but we're gonna count down exactly 1 minute, and I promise it'll be 1 minute. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and I'm gonna read the first question. All right? Okay. Here we go. Let me get my settings in there. Good. Excellent. So here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What is your most memorable performance?
Oh no, now you're cutting out. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What about now? Better?
Oh, talk again?
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I totally ruined it. Yeah,
okay.
It's good
Okay,
now.
We'll start again.
Okay.
We can always go from beginning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. What is your most memorable performance?
Heavy Montreal.
Excellent. At what age did you pick up violin?
6.
Perfect. What are the names of your pets?
Riley, Onyx, and Molly.
Aw, that's so cute. Violin, acoustic or electric?
Both.
All right. What motivates you?
I like the audience screaming and cheering and having a good time with me.
Excellent. Which YouTuber you just can't stop watching?
Oh no, you.
Aw, thank you. What are your favorite songs to cover? Name 3.
I love covering Desire. Oh no. Aces High by oh no, Iron Maiden. And I really love covering John 5's Damaged.
Yay! Name the 3 people that you admire.
Cassandra Sotos, Hayden Matera, Katie Jacoby.
All right. Dogs or cats? Woo, we're out of time.
I like both.
Both. Excellent. One last question is name 3 artists you follow on Instagram.
Oh, 3 artists. Well, I follow. Oh no, this is so hard now. I like Slayer, Cassandra Sotos, Katie Jacoby.
Amazing. Yeah, they're amazing. I watch them too. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for playing. We didn't make it in under a minute, but nobody does, so don't feel bad. I think I had a person make it once. Hayden Vitera made it in under a minute. I was surprised because that was the first time we did it. We didn't even rehearse.
You know what? Fun fact: he grew up like just down the street, down the country highway from where my parents grew up. They're all from the same kind of little farming area. So, and we're both Mexican, so he could be my brother from another mother.
That is so awesome. Well, one of the reasons I do the show is because I personally want to connect with people like you, with people who make amazing music. And I love metal. I love folk. And putting the two together, this is like perfect. This is like my heaven right now.
That's the best way, I think.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on the show. Like, I've learned so much, and I love your music. You guys, you can always follow Alison on her social media, on Instagram at Alyson Montez, on YouTube. Look her up, Alyson Montez, violinist. You cannot miss it. She's an amazing artist. She does rocking solos like these all the time. Then on Facebook, Alyson Montez B, and on her website at AlysonMontez.com. If you'd like to book her for an event or just enjoy her beautiful music, it's all there. We're all connected. There's no excuse. You have to check her out. And what I would also like you to do before we leave, let me know if there's a piece of advice that you would sort of give a younger artist who is pursuing a career similar to yours in the modern world. So, and it could be advice on social media, it could be advice on finding your true voice, it could be an advice on managing your time. What you think is the most important thing that spoke to you over the years?
Well, I think for me, the most important thing was really staying true to yourself. Like, I always was doing very traditional stuff like mariachi and classical and all that, but I was mixing it up with stuff I like to do. And what I've learned lately is that a lot of people, I always felt like the odd person out, but a lot of people actually admired that, the fact that I was going in and doing stuff my way. And, you know, they're like, you were the mariachi with like bright green hair and like you stood out like a sore thumb, but we remember that. And so I'm sure there's a lot of people that also were not into that. But the thing is, you can't let the people that are haters bring you down. Like, you just got to do the best version of you, because when you stand out, that's really when you start to become valuable. Because if you blend in with everything else, then less people are going to be like, oh, that girl, yeah. You know, they're going to be like, oh, well, there's like 100. So be you, and, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's perfect. I feel like that's the perfect advice. And finding your voice is so important. And this is something we all struggle with, right? So you want to also please your audience, but at the same time, you want to do what truly matters to you. So you can't go extreme in either direction, because it has to speak to people, but it has to be genuinely you. Completely agree. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alison, on being on our show, for taking the time to be here and share your awesome music, your ideas, and your fantastic personality. Love the hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I often watch your stories because you have some really funny things to say, and I watch you with your dogs.
Oh, yeah.
They're so cute. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Happy belated 4th of July. We also had Canada Day here on Wednesday, so lots of fireworks this week. I hope you've had the time to do what you love, to just, you know, relax and enjoy. And I would love to have you back on the show. If you have a new release or a video coming out, let me know, right? Send me a message. I would love to share it with everyone else. And hope you have an amazing week. Right now, we're going to close with Sing to Color. Yes? All right. Another epic track. So here we go. Have an amazing week, guys. Bye.
es un traidor.